guys, it's Megan. So today I'm going to share with you how I did my sister's hair and makeup for her prom. So I started out with her skincare. I used the First Day Beauty Facial Radiance Pad and then used my CeraVe PM Moisturizer on top of that. So I pretty much use only my makeup for her prom makeup look because we're the same skin tone and everything, so it was very easy to just use what I already have. So I primed her eyes with the e.l.f. eyelid primer and some of the L'Oreal Enduring Rose cream eyeshadow. Then for the powder shadows, I worked out of my MAC Nordstrom Naturals palette and focused mostly on the matte colors. Saddle, Cork, and Omega were my primary colors that I used, and I was just putting them in the crease to start out with. For the lid, I decided to use the Burberry Glow Shadow in Shell, which is just a really pretty light shimmery color, and I loved it for her skin tone and for her look. Rachel never wears makeup, so we were doing a very natural look, and she told me just do whatever you want to do, and I was pretty impressed with how it turned out because I've never done makeup on anyone before. So I moved onto her skin and I used the YSL Touche Cloud in number 2 first under her eyes, which is more of a corrective color. Then I use the Chanel Perfection Lumiere foundation in 10 Beige on the rest of her face. Just one pump will go a long way for a very natural looking coverage. So just use one pump, especially if you have good skin like my sister does. And at this point we were trying to put on her eyeliner, and putting eyeliner on someone is very difficult. So it was pretty hard to do, and why we were laughing a few seconds ago was because I like whispered, "Okay, I'm coming in," or something like really silly and crazy, and so we were bursting out laughing. But I eventually decided, as I'm thinking right there, to put the eyeliner on the back of my hand and apply it with a liner brush instead of applying it straight from the pencil, because it wasn't applying as well as I wanted it to, and I didn't want to press really hard on her eye area. So if I would have had a brown gel liner, I would have used that, but since I didn't, this technique worked very well, and I would definitely recommend it to any of you guys who don't want to apply a pencil straight to your eye or don't know how to apply eyeliner to someone else, because it was a lot harder than I expected. So I'm just retouching up her eyeshadow because some of it got a little bit blended away, and just rubbing away some of the fallout. And I applied some of the YSL Touche Cloud again to brighten underneath her eyes for just some added brightness. And we have very fair and translucent looking skin, so under our eyes can look a little bit blue, so I know that that's important for our skin to cover that up. For blush, I used the Makeup Revolution Hot Spice blush palette and just mixed a few of the matte shades together to get a natural pink flush to the cheeks, and she loved the Real Techniques blush brush. She thought it was super soft. And then I added some Becca Moonstone highlighter at the very tops of her cheeks. It just gave a really pretty glow, and I thought it was something really special. So then I taught Rachel how to apply her lipstick for the first time, and we used Rimmel Nude and the City for her lipstick. It was such a pretty color on her, and it was so funny that she's never applied lipstick before, so I was giving her some tips on that, and she did a really good job at reapplying it later in the night. And then she decided she wanted to apply her own mascara, which she never had done before. So she was very delicate about it, and she was really nervous, but it was so cute and she did a really good job. And we used the CoverGirl Clump Crusher because I know it won't smudge. It's a very long-lasting mascara, and she did a really good job applying it for her very first time doing mascara. She didn't mess up at all, and it was just so cool to be part of her prom night, to do her makeup, and my mom was there encouraging her as well when it came to doing her mascara for the first time. It was a whole family affair. So I put some of the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel in her brows just to polish those, and we were pretty much done with her makeup at this point. I just touched up the eyeshadow a little bit, added a little more darkness in the outer corner, but for the most part I was done with the makeup, and I thought Rachel looked just beautiful. I loved doing her makeup and just experiencing this with her because my prom was 6 years ago and I don't really remember doing anything special for my hair and makeup, so I thought this would be really fun for us to bond over, and I think it's nice to have someone that knows you do your makeup because I know Rachel never really wears makeup and we didn't want her to be like really overdone and she didn't want that at all, so she really liked how it turned out and I was really happy. So here we are just ogling over her makeup and she was getting sick of us staring at her. So yeah, she loved her makeup. I was so surprised, but tonight is her prom and she said she can't wait to come home and wash it off before post-prom, but I think she did like it and it was her one night to be really girly. So then we moved on to her hair and now she has on her dress, which was a really pretty dress, and she never really does anything to her hair either, but she saw this picture online that was a half up, half down twist. So that was our inspiration. So I just took the front sections of both sides of her hair and twisted those back and then twisted them together to like make basically like the start of a braid, but just bobby pin those in place. And I think I only used like 3 or 4 bobby pins, and that was her headbang test to see if we needed more bobby pins. So I added some more at that point after the headbang test, which I highly recommend that as a test for bobby pin needs. So then we decided to curl her hair, and I just used our Hot Tools. I think this is a 1.5 inch or 1 inch, I can never tell. I think this is actually a 2-inch curling iron now that I think of it. So this is the 2-inch. I'm gonna say that for a fact. And ever since I watched that viral video where the girl burned her hair off with her straightener, I have been super paranoid about putting heat on hair. So I didn't hold it on for long enough for most of the first time around Rachel's head, so I had to go back around again a few times to get it to finally stay, but it all worked out in the end and it looked really pretty. We have super straight hair, so keeping a curl is hard in the first place, but especially when you're a paranoid person like me, and yeah, I just didn't hold it on the heat for long enough. But I just loved being part of Rachel's prom to do this for her, and I hope that she really liked it too. I think that she did. And I would just say for any of you guys who are doing your own makeup for prom or doing someone's makeup for prom, just have fun. Accentuate your natural beauty or your friend or your sister's natural beauty, and don't do anything super crazy. You don't need to contour, you don't need to use fake lashes, you don't need a really bright lip if that's not what you're comfortable with. Just do what you like and what suits you, and just have fun. Have fun dancing, have fun with your friends, have fun at post-prom. Just have fun being a kid. I miss being a kid so much, and I would really love to have gone to my sister's prom tonight, and I was hovering over her and her friends at where they took all their pictures, and I just loved it. I loved every second of hearing their conversations. It was a really fun night for me just to be part of, and I can't wait to hear how Rachel's prom was and her post-prom. So I hope all of you guys who are going to prom this year have a really fun and safe night. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Rachel, for being my beautiful model for this, and I hope you all have an awesome day. See you soon. Bye.